considering that I almost did not release it. Apparently people really liked it. That's pretty nice.
We're going to be talking about a short film that you made in Blender called Heritage. Somebody said this was an incredibly awesome video. I nearly went crazy while watching it.
Going crazy myself also, making it. It was the first time I was doing anything like this in Blender. Even if the tools are faster and faster, it's so hard to generate these images.
You know, you got these really nice, realistic shots of the car coming out over the little speed hump, and then suddenly, boom, you go anime style, crazy drifting.
I don't have a main reference, I just have a lot of references. Like a grounded animation, but at the same time you want like Transformer stuff and the car flies off the sky.
Yeah, I mean, there's a jet engine flies off. Why would you not want to get it finished and put out there? Is there something that was holding you back?
My friend who did the music and the sound design, I released it because of him. He motivated me and pushed me to release the short film because I was just...
Josué, welcome to the VFX Process.
Thank you very much for having me. It's cool, pretty nice. First time doing this.
We're going to be talking about a short film that you made in Blender called Heritage, of course. Some people said in the YouTube comments, damn, this just left me speechless with how good it is. We've got somebody that said, this was an incredibly awesome video. I nearly went crazy while watching it.
That's actually insane to hearing this from other people, considering that I almost did not release it because I was not happy with the way it ended up for me. Apparently people really liked it. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, clearly. So, and someone nearly went crazy. That's such a funny sight.
Yeah.
Can you just introduce yourself, your name, and give us a little bit of information about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Josué Zabeau. I'm from France, but I live in Canada now, in Montreal. I moved out from France for studying, for doing engineering, mechanical engineering. Afterward, I worked as an engineer for a couple of years. I wasn't not happy, but I was working in a cubicle space and like the corporate ambiance wasn't something I was thriving in. I had a good friend at the time, and I'm still working with him, Renaud Rollinger, and he's doing WebGL application and websites. So he uses a lot of 3D, and this is how I really started to play with Blender. This was the first time when he asked me for some models, and he was like, can you model a tree? Can you model like a torii gate and stuff like this? And I was, yeah, maybe. At the time I was doing a lot of CAD. So CAD design for mechanical engineering, like folded sheet metals and machining stuff. And I slowly transitioned to 3D design for WebGL applications, basically. And I really went full-time in 2022.
When you opened up Blender and wanted to improve your skill set or start the Blender journey, what kind of things were you making?
So I was doing some mechanical parts. How do you make a hole? Because like in the CAD software, you make a hole, it's like you make an esquisse, a circle, you cut it, that's it. I was crazy because it was so difficult to make a hole at the beginning, you know? It's like, what, you have to add loop cuts, and this is crazy. I was like hating myself. It was hard at the beginning. I really went deep into it when I was looking at Mijay Mantissa. Maybe you know his work. But at the time, it really helped me understand how Blender works. Like, what was the concept? What's a modifier? How you can stack them up, and you can bake a simulation, re-import it, and just by following what it had, this is how I learned. And I never really did like the famous donut tutorial.
You were making holes.
Making holes and trying to figure out modifiers.
So fast forward then, not long at all. Yeah, you've made a short film in Blender. Yeah, it's made people go crazy. People have really enjoyed it.
I'm so grateful, by the way, that people really liked it.
Yeah, let's talk about Heritage then. So where and when and why did that start? What inspired you to create that short film?
Like the first time I really thought about it was I was looking at some Kaiser renders.
Oh yeah, Kaiser. Oh my gosh.
And he's from the UK also. And I was looking at one of the renders. It was like a Lamborghini or something, but he put like a 6-axis robot arm in the cockpit, like in the driver's seat. And I was like, that's so cool. And at the time when I was in engineering, I was working with this kind of robots, like the 6-axis robots you see in the assembly line and stuff. This is the first time I thought, yeah, maybe I could try to do some car render, car stuff. He's doing like some cool stuff, mixing some part of the engineering I know with a robot arm and the cool renders and stuff. I downloaded like a free Toyota 86 from like Sketchfab, and I basically did some car mod on it. So I just put it like closer to the ground, changing the bumpers and stuff, changing the wheels. And slowly I started to do like some previews and some stuff. And I was also playing like Death Stranding at the time. And so actually like the platform on which the car is basically the same platform in Death Stranding that Sam's is taking to go up and down. So this is basically like a reference to that. And this is plenty of reference from everywhere, because at the time I wasn't even thinking making a short film. So I was just playing with what I know, what I liked. Yeah, at the beginning, I had plenty of additional shots. And I was telling me, okay, this is going to be like a big project. This is going to be like for my portfolio piece, you know. The first preview was like 4 minutes long, and it was way too long because I had this idea, you know, at the beginning, it's opening with the car crashing and rolling around. And I had this idea where you had basically the two cars, like the one I designed and the original model of the A86. And I wanted to tell like the story of heritage, basically, like how you inherit some aspect of your life and you have to try to go free of them. But it was
nice.
way too long, like 4 minutes. I ended up almost going crazy myself also making it because it was so hard. It was the first time I was doing anything like this, and doing this kind of shot in Blender, even if the tools are faster and faster and you have plenty of tutorials and stuff, it's so hard to generate these images. And because I had like a more complex vision for the story, all these tiny shots was getting in the way basically of me enjoying and making the interesting stuff. So I basically cut the story in three main axes. I really wanted the beginning where you have kind of the burst, you know, of the car that is going through the shaft and exiting the parking lot. By the way, like the parking lot, you have like the two exit of the highway. It's basically like the leg of a woman delivering a baby, you know, like the street giving birth to the car. You had the accident scene, and after you have the entire like car drifting into the street. And so this is like the three main axes.
What was it that made you think, I tell you what, I'm learning Blender, I could just do some like really high-end stills. You know, Kai's has got some amazing work. I can make my own car. You've took all that and thought, I'll tell you what, I'll just make a fully animated Blender film whilst kind of learning.
Yeah, but it was like kind of organic, like the growth of everything. I did not like woke up a morning telling me I'm going to do this entire project. It was,
Right.
I was working on the car, and then after I was working on the parking lot scenes and the renders, and I was working with the close simulation. And so I learned all these tiny tricks along the way of making it.
Oh, gotcha.
And after, at a certain point, I was like, maybe I can push this thing as far as I can.
Have you told any kind of like stories or done anything like this prior to it, or was that part of this journey as well?
Not really. I mean, I look at a lot of movies where I have a sense of storytelling, I guess, like stuff. I know what I like. And also I think that the way it ended up being like these three kind of parallel stories playing in the same time, it's a bit cryptic, but at the end I prefer it this way. But there is still some meaning deep inside, but you can still interpret it as you want.
That's art in itself, isn't it? Interpret it how you want.
Yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned you like, you know, watching movies and, you know, story elements and things. Wild guess, do you like Initial D?
Yeah, of course.
Do you like Akira?
Yeah.
Do you like Tokyo Drift and
but
some
this
Gran
is like this kind
Turismo?
of stuff. Like all my references ended up in this piece. You know, it's like the opening shot. I was like, yeah, Akira. It's really nice. What happened when you do it during the day? You know, with clean like white building, and it's actually also just some kit bash I bought from like a kit bash 3D.
And are you animating these buildings like in 3D space?
It's all in 3D. Just I'm translating the buildings themselves. The camera is moving, but also the buildings. It's like I try to make things based on how my inspirations made me feel like, and try to recreate these feelings and not necessarily recreate the reference itself. I really want to dive in with my next project right now, and I try to incorporate more stuff about like Ghost in the Shell and like Matrix, especially stuff from the anime Matrix, like the Second Renaissance from the short films series. I really want to go back to what I really loved when I was a kid, how it made me feel like, and I want to recreate this feeling through doing stuff in Blender. Like,
amazing, man. That's so cool. And we can't wait to see what you work on next, Josué.
Might take a little while, but we'll see.
How long did this project take?
I think it took something like a year and a half, but not full time, you know. So I think like full time it was maybe like 4 months if I had to compress it down, but it was done like on a year and a half plus 1 year of just putting the project aside.
Yeah.
And also I have to mention it, my friend Luca Fiorella, who did the music and the sound design. Incredible artist, incredible musician. He really elevates the quality of this piece with the sound design and the music. It's crazy.
The response from the YouTube comments as well, as much as the visuals, your shorts, so they equally complement the amazing sound design as well. And somebody actually mentioned, this is so cool, great job on this masterpiece. I especially love the music. Is it on streaming platforms? I need it on my Cyberpunk playlist.
And it is. If you go on Spotify, Urubu, URUBU.
I'm going to add that to mine as well, actually.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of cool stuff, a lot of techno music, breakbeat, and super nice to go to the gym or drive fast.
No, drive fast to the gym.
Yeah.
Safely, of course.
Of course.
And is this your friend then?
Yeah, it's my friend. I released it because of him. Basically, he motivated me to, and pushed me to release the short film because I was just too tired, and he really pushed me every time, like every week, every month. He was asking me, when are you going to release it?
And what was it then that why would you not want to get it finished and put out there? Is there something that was holding you back?
I was already proud with what I did, but I wasn't wanted to go through the trouble of posting it through YouTube and having to finish it. And I put some of the shots into some of my reels at the time. So I still kind of used it to get some work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah.
See, well, it's out there now, and the internet has their eyes all over it. So
shout out to Urubu.
Yeah, let's talk about Blender itself as a filmmaking tool. You know, can you just talk about your overall kind of pipelines and the tools and what it was like discovering things along the way? You know,
my process.
Yeah.
My VFX process. With all the new tools with AI and stuff, it's always changing. So I'm never using the same process and pipeline. But for this one, I really started. I did the renders of the cars, and I did some final renders of the cars in stills before really going into like the animations and stuff. And looking at cinematography, I use a lot of the website called Shot Deck. You have a lot of reference images of cinematography. It's always good source to base your render on if you are doing like photorealistic and cinematographic style renders. But yeah, usually I do a lot of blocking, just putting cubes, putting the cars and animating it really roughly to have a sense of the motion of it. Just animating the camera with curves, tracking empties, and try to have a feel. Like the motion is really important. When I'm doing like animation, this is where I start. I have like an idea of how can things move. And I do like a simple design, like a blocking design of this. Also with Blender, it's so fast to animate, to put stuff in relation to each other with a constraint. It's super easy to start production. To finish production, I would say it's maybe a little bit more hard. When you look at other software like Unreal Engine, you know, everything is real time and everything. But Unreal, it's kind of the inverse, where it's super slow to start it, you know. But to finish it, you put your camera everywhere. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
I feel like in Blender, you have to be more intentional from the start. Because on this project, I had like basically a Blender file for each scene. I really had a specific image in mind of the shot, and I did it in a project. Of course, I copy-paste and duplicate stuff from project to another, but it was really like one project per shot. And so this is kind of limiting in a way where you don't have a lot of place to experiment. But yeah, usually I work like this. I work with a mood board. I have like a tiny mood board with a hand-drawn stuff. I really draw in a bad way, so please don't judge me.
No judging.
But having also a lot of references. I'm putting a lot of images of different movies and commercials and stuff. I was also inspired by the famous Pennzoil commercial, car video with crazy sound design, crazy motions.
Was there any other kind of top references that you were just like, there's something there I just want to take?
I don't have a main reference. I just have a lot of references.
And I guess the feeling you mentioned, the feeling is something that you want to...
Yeah, the feeling, the idea of what I want, and everything is nourishing the final project. I pick and choose what I want. Sometimes it's a bit hard to make everything coherent. That's why maybe like the start, the opening of the short film with the buildings kind of feel different from the race itself. Maybe this is why this is interesting to see. You have all these different aspects. Everybody has different references and can pick up of different details.
Definitely.
And you feel more engaged in it.
Yeah, I felt that when I was watching it. You know, you got these really nice, realistic kind of, you know, shots of the car coming out over the little speed hump. You've got the car engine turning on with the exhausts, realistic feeling cameras, like grounded camera work. And then suddenly, boom, you go anime style. You've got like initial D camera coming down, swooping behind, crazy drifting. It was just noticeably different, but you could see the inspirations from different things, but put together and to tell the story. So
it's basically what it is. Like everything I like, anime, crazy motion, but also cinematography.
Yeah,
like a grounded animation, but at the same time you want like Transformer stuff and the car flies off the sky.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fucking jet engine flies off. So it definitely escalates to something I don't think anybody would have imagined that would happen at the start.
I'm a big fan of the TV show Atlanta from Donald Glover. The way they are telling the story, you have so much contrast with what you think you're gonna get and what you end up at the end, you know. But it's definitely something I really like when you play with the styles and you put just everything in, you know. It's like in the movie, everything everywhere all at once.
The references as filmmakers, they're always in there. And I guess as audiences and viewers, it's really fun to pick up on where the creator kind of was inspired for a moment or two. Everybody appreciates, you know, an iconic reference or, you know.
You are putting the audience back where they were the first time they saw this reference. So it's kind of cool.
Were there any Blender add-ons that you discovered along the way that really changed the game for you? Did you discover anything that's like, this is going to do this perfectly?
The short film doesn't use a lot of add-on. I think I use one. It's the RBC add-on for rigging the car. But for the rest, I did not really use a lot of add-on. It's basically just off-the-shelf Blender. I don't really use add-ons that are between me and the styles in the render. For add-ons that are making stuff for you, that replace your artistic input, basically. I like add-ons that are good for productivity or really good tools for simulation and stuff like this.
Can you think of the biggest technical challenge for this project?
I don't know, maybe the smoke. You know, the smoke and the sky at the end when the car is flying.
How were they done, the smoke effects?
I used Emergent for the smoke and everything. You can export it as a open VDB and just put it back in Blender. It's so long to render also.
I can imagine, yeah, they do. What about the destroyed car at the start?
The destroyed car, I use a tutorial from Rafo VFX.
Oh, Rafo VFX, yeah.
Yeah. He's doing like super high quality Blender simulations for VFX and for like destruction and stuff like this. And you always have like some nice tips. And at the start, I was doing it in Houdini. So we have like a particle creating Voronoi fracture, and the fracture is moving, and this motion of the fracture is driving the deformation of the car itself. And so I did some tests, and I was initially planning to do it in Houdini and imported it in Blender. But Rafo approach, it's really hands-on. So you have to specify, okay, this door is rotating along this axis, this is the hood, this move in this way. And so you really have to set up the car itself. You have one model, one car, and this is going to be the simulation. It's not even a simulation. It's modifiers with weight painting, proximity, and displacement. like a constraint and a rigid body for the door and stuff like this. I added some particle simulations for the glass. There is not even really an add-on in this because everything was made with like the modifiers and the constraints and stuff from Blender. I used like a tutorial to learn, but
that's the beauty of, especially the Blender community. I know there's many other communities, but if you were like, okay, how do I destroy a car? There's somebody that's done something that you can take from and learn from and do your own thing with it. Yeah, maybe that's just the internet in general these days. There's always something that you can take from or learn from,
Yeah, but Blender definitely have like a giant community. And and also what is hard sometimes is just choosing what tutorial to go with, because sometimes you can end up just recreating what somebody already did in a tutorial. So you really have to see what is the point of it and recreate it yourself and make it yours.
Definitely. Yeah, well, I guess that's where your kind of artistic, like creative eye comes in. You can take something from the tutorial, you understand what to do and how to do it, and then you apply it to your project in your own way.
Yeah, the tutorial is just a tool. You are learning the tool of the tutorial. You say, okay, I have this new tool available. How can I use it,
Well, the vehicle and the rig and the animation you mentioned, it was done with RBC, which is so good. Like the RBC stuff, it's so satisfying watching tires going over objects.
That's why I did like a close-up of the wheel going over the bumper. It was like I need to show this at least once, because after in the race and everything, I could just have a simple rig and no physical simulations in it, because you are so far removed or you can't really pick up the tiny detail.
Whereas that's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Nice. How much was done with the RBC add-on, like the physics and things, and how much was done with, splines and animating with the add-on?
Yeah, I used the rig of the car with the RBC add-on, but I just turned off the simulation and everything. The car was parented to the rig, animated the rig. After, for the tiny motion of the tires when it brakes and the secondary motion, everything was done by hand, because it was easier this way. But also in the RBC add-on, you have plenty of tiny sliders when you can play with the rotation angle of the car, how much it tilted and stuff like this. So I just played with this value, but in a keyframed way. I just keyframed them. And
was it tempting to just set the car up and just drive it around yourself with a gamepad? Or
a friend I'm working with when I work on Apache music videos and stuff, he did this, and I was just not aware that you could do it. You could do it at the beginning. Okay. So he sent me a video of him playing with his car with the RBC add-on. I was like, what? But also for the short movie, I don't think I would have been able to do it, because the car is going so fast in the street, because I wanted to have the sense of speed way faster than what was realistically possible, in the real-sized city and stuff like this. If you look at the city itself in the Blender scene, it's just a super long strip of road with a giant curve, and nothing makes sense, because I wanted everything to pass by super fast. And so with the RBC add-on playable car, basically, I wouldn't be able to go this fast and to be this precise and stuff like this. But I would definitely have some fun.
And just build some ramps and drive off ramps. And brilliant, man. I was going to say, was there a reason for not including a driver, so you didn't have to do the driver in the car? But you mentioned that cool kind of Kaiser's concept where he added that arm in. So that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah, at the beginning, I really planned to add a human driver, and I wanted to show the human in his room, going inside the car, going down the elevator and stuff like this. And also, of course, we all know it, doing realistic human characters in a photorealistic way is super hard. And sometimes it just removes you from the story, because you're just going to see it and you're like, it tried to do it, but it's not there. And now you're not really thinking about the story and the visual and stuff. You're just thinking about the human character with a weird face.
Yeah. And
so I just decided, just to remove it. It doesn't add this much to the story itself. And the fact that I was working with a 6-axis robot arm like this at my engineering job, it feels more appropriate and more like me, I guess.
Talking about being distracted by weird faces in films, it just reminded me of Superman, where the opening shot of Henry Cavill with a moustache.
Yeah.
So I was watching it, I was going, what the heck is going on? Like, there's something so weird about something. And then through the whole movie, I just kept thinking about that opening shot.
So yeah, it stick with you, and so
It stuck with me, yeah.
the story completely passed by yourself, by a side of you.
Exactly. But yeah, I love the concept of that driving arm. Now that you mentioned it, it's an actual thing that you've kind of, played with or, have experience with in your engineering career. So it's really cool to incorporate that in there. What does it take to achieve that kind of level of detail, the realism in some of these shots? Is there any kind of magic sauce that you put into these shots?
You really need to zoom in super deep into the picture, basically. It's really what I've done all the way. Like, I'm just zooming in and I'm saying, okay, I could add like some more droplets marks on the windshield. I could add some more like dirt on the tire. I could add more.
Or cobwebs in the green light.
Yeah, definitely. It's just stuff. Also, when you train yourself to look around you in detail, and the more you're going to be able to pick up on details in the real world, you will be also able to put them in your renders. Because at the end of the day, there is nothing technically fancy I'm doing. I'm just using like a procedural mixed with photo-based PBR textures, lighting, HDRs. I mean, the stuff you see everywhere. I'm just looking at the picture and I'm saying, what can I add to improve the realism? And I'm looking at it, zooming in it. And when I zoom in, you zoom in a section, you see, okay, what do you see now? What can you add to improve this section? Just imperfections, playing with the different masks, with the ambient occlusion and the bevel mask and stuff like this to add the edge wear. Yeah, I don't know if there is like a special sauce. It's just you need to think of it, basically. I did a render of it was a gun. It was the FGC9. When I put a sticker with a bubble in the sticker on it,
Oh,
and somebody was like, "How is it me or there is like air bubble under like the sticker wrapped on the gun itself?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I just thought of it. I put like a normal map, and yeah, that's it."
So it's really those like extra details that add that trick to the eye. It's like there's another layer of detail in there which really pushes.
Yeah, and also I think like everything is contributing to the final picture. So sometimes you're gonna add details, and you think, oh, it's not gonna make the difference at the end, or this is just a couple of pixel detail. But I think it averages out, and it's making like this photorealistic picture. Because when you are taking a real picture in the real world, you have some details that are smaller than the actual pixels of your sensor. And so this is my approach, that I try to add as much detail as I want and as much as my computer can handle also.
Yeah, of course.
But also you can end up having a lot of details with low compute overhead, like just using PBR textures, imperfections. For the short film, I did use like a displacement with subdivision for the ground, like the shots where the car is igniting, when you can see like the detail of the concrete on the ground and the reflection of the sun on it. That's pretty much it. Like for the race during the street, also because everything is in motion blur, I just used a flat plane and maybe a little bit curved out, to resemble a real road.
And many people in the comments, they keep talking about the attention to detail and the amount that you've pushed it.
It's actually crazy that people are noticing these details. But you say, like, if they can notice it, you can make it, basically, because you are seeing it. So if you see it, you can just put it in your render.
Is there any chance to open up a single shot at the moment from this short in Blender, just so we can have a look around one?
So is it this one? I actually don't know what's inside of this project.
This is the exciting thing when we get to see what...
So this is like the setup, and so the car is going way fast, like over there. But it's like super long if I want to have like this kind of motion blur and stuff. And so the car is just passing by in this one.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, regarding optimization, I really kind of don't really care. I'm using like 2K to 4K textures. I try to not use too many subdivisions and too many high poly for like the stuff in the background and on the side. I always try to keep like my hero well modeled with enough detail. But also with like normal maps and stuff like this, you can have a lot of adding details with basically no optimization really needed. Like the smoke on this one, like the smoke is pretty heavy. For this one, I really wanted, because I wanted to push it as far as I wanted, as far as I could. Maybe like some renders took like 12 or 14 hours. I just render them by night. It's making a bit of heat during the winter.
Perfect time.
Yeah, it's completely fine.
It's always been done, hasn't it? Especially in like anime, cartoons, even movies. Just cheating that sense of speed and distance. You see these movies where they're drifting down a street around a corner.
So yeah, I also know like this kind of scenes in anime, like for example in Attack of Titan. He's sliding on the roof and going down the street and jumping out, trying to evade like a Titan attack or something. But the camera is going absolutely all over the place, but it's still tracked on the character itself. So it's like changing focus and going close and far and zooming in, zooming out with so much motion. But because everything is focused on the character itself, and you can still kind of track the character's motion throughout the shot. So like for this one, I have the camera going down and flowing with it.
Cool, man. Awesome.
But yeah, and basically you have the curve right there. So this is the curve I used, the path basically. So it goes down and you have like the orbiting around the car at the end, and everything, this entire curve moves with the car. And you just make the camera slide. So nothing fancy.
Yeah, man. That's cool. Well, thanks for jumping into that shot, Josué. Thank you, man. You briefly mentioned earlier about finding the time to make this project. You've got a life outside of the world of 3D. Yeah. How do you balance that kind of personal work, professional work?
I don't really.
That's fine. There is no right and wrong answer. It's just an interest to see what's it like for you.
I'm really trying to be organized. I use this thing. It's called a PPV, Piler, Pipeline, and Vault. It's basically like an organization method of basically stating what are your values, your goal outcomes, like stuff you can measure, like how much books can you read in a year, or how much short film can you do. And after you split everything into projects, into area of life, and from this project, you basically driving your daily tasks. So like this, you are sure that every task you do is feeding into a project, is feeding into a goal and a value goal, and basically an aspect of your life you want to improve. Because I don't think there is some like work-life balance, especially like as a freelance 3D artist. I don't want to go to the office, and this is not a drastically different environment from my life, the work. So I'm just in my room and I go here to play, to hang out with friends, and also to work. So everything is kind of mixed together. So I just try to have a good organized life in the way that my work is encompassed inside my life, basically. And if I organize everything well, the work is going to be organized well also. You have to be like intentional in the way you spend your time working, and have like a time to rest and time to explore also other stuff, or other hobbies and stuff like this. Because this is how I started also, I started doing Blender as a hobby, and it was something fun for me. And now it's a work, and sometimes it can be hard, because you have so much pressure and the feeling of it. You're not really having a good time when you're working on tight deadlines and stuff like this. But if you can create this environment where it's all part of the same big things and your big values that you want to improve and to feed. Like sometimes you are doing sport, you don't like running a 10K, but you're doing it because it's good for your health, and it's like this for work. So if you can remember that you are doing this for improving yourself, a better future, it makes things definitely easier.
Absolutely.
And so I just try to organize my life, organize my work, and improving myself, and that's it. Everything flows from there.
Nice, man. Nice. Is there anything that you do outside of the 3D world to kind of detach from 3D hobbies?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I really like 3D, so I work in this, and sometimes I spend time just doing renders and modeling stuff just for fun.
Yeah.
But I do some 3D printing. Also,
cool, man.
of course, because with my CAD skills and engineering background, it's easy for me to model kind of anything and just print it. I do some miniature modeling and painting.
Nice.
Yeah, like I really love this. It's Machine Krieger. It's like a series of miniature, a bit like Gundam and stuff like this.
Okay.
But it's a really specific and weird design. It's not really well known, but it's kind of post-apocalyptic, grungy mecha suits. And yeah, I do this like in my free time.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I do some sport. I do like I used to do like jiu-jitsu and triathlon. Now I just want to go to the gym because I'm too tired of all these activities. Just go to the gym and leave.
Now, typically, I ask, what advice would you give to somebody wanting to start a short film? Now, maybe it's reversed for you because you didn't necessarily start you kind of progressively made it, but your barrier was to finish it.
Yeah.
Any advice for those looking to finish a short film and get it out there?
Yeah, I already know it's always hard, because everybody is different and everybody has a different expectation and definition of success also. It's sometimes it's even hard to know even when the project is finished, It's like you could just spend another 2 years on something and it's just never finished. So for me it was finished when I just shelved it basically. And when you are too tired and fatigued on something, maybe this is when it's finished and maybe this is the time to release it. I don't know, like a super deep.
No, it's fine. I mean, you had a friend of yours that was like, just fucking finish it, put it out there.
Just have good friends and listen to them.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thanks for that advice, man. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us on the VFX Process.
Thank you so much for having me.
What's your day looking like? What you up to now?
I'm going to work a bit. I'm working on this WebGL game where I have to basically design an entire world, and I might work on my next project also. It's already started.
Oh,
but
is that an exclusive? It's already started. What is it?
Like my idea for my new project, because this kind of the heritage kind of traumatized me, like doing this kind of project where you have so much to do before finishing it basically. And I really want to do like a more even shorter clips and stories, but that each of them, it's basically building a world, an entire series where I can just release like a 20, 30 seconds clips. And you have all these different story lines going in parallel and maybe joining together.
Nice.
Having like the process be way more easy and the scope of the story way bigger also,
Awesome, man.
So this is really something I want to experiment with. And I was thinking about like the phone and the social media. There is no proper content besides reels and memes and weird stuff on social media. You don't have any like real qualitative content with deep storytelling. I really want to try something where you could use this short form factor of storytelling, but build the story like piece by piece. Like each post and each clip is a piece of a puzzle, and you basically have a piece, and the day of the week after you have another piece, and at the end of 2 years you have almost the entire puzzle. We can maybe make social media cool.
That sounds good, man, and we look forward to future projects. That sounds super exciting. Really great to meet you. We wish you all the best, and thanks for your time, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
Bye.